This video is to go through the GDPR process based on legitimate interest. So when setting up GDPR for either group or by franchise, you can have it as consent topics where the customer can opt in to receive marketing via post, email, SMS, etc. Or you can have one tick box based on legitimate interest. So there is another video for the consent topics. This is legitimate interest. So first of all, we're going to add a new customer. So we're just going to go into here and put in a new customer. So once you've got the customer in, obviously at the top here you can see we have Land Rover GDPR and also the group's GDPR. So as I've mentioned already, you can have two sets of GDPR or you can have one. So some brands do mandate that we have to capture brand data protection, Jaguar Land Rover being one of them. But other groups, so for instance, VW and Audi don't mandate that we need to capture it, but some groups might want to. And it is possible for you to have a brand's privacy statement and your own group's privacy statement. So the process we're going to go through here is both. So we've got, first of all, the Land Rover privacy is based on consent topics. So it can be a yes to all, or you can just opt in manually, each individual line. And then we mark that face to face, and then when we click next it takes us then into the group's GDPR. So this is has been set up by me in my group settings of Inquiry Max. So we at Dave's Motors takes GDPR very seriously. To view the full company privacy policy, please view the company website. If the customer would like to opt out of future contact, please tick this box and make the customer aware that they will only receive contact from the group or one of its retailers whilst there is a live inquiry active. So as soon as if I were to just proceed now, the customer is opted in. As soon as I click onto this, the customer's opted out. So you can actually choose here. So it's defaulted as opt-in. So let's just save that record and we'll just load an inquiry and then we'll come back into it. So let's just put in a vehicle. So it's defaulted as opt-in. So what we'll do is we'll go back into the record now and into our GDPR. So here you can see that we've now got a date and timestamp which has been captured by me going through the page. Okay, so we'll just go through this screen. So at the top right hand corner we can download that as a PDF and send it to the customer if the customer wants their details for themselves. We've also got the section here where it's date and timestamp where we can click view. So at the moment the opt-out is disabled. Okay, so if we were to want to contact that customer, market that customer, then the legitimate interest wise you are allowed to contact that customer. However, if I tick the box and then save it, you can see it's now added me a second version. So version 2 has now made the opt-out is now enabled. Okay, and again, if the customer comes back into me in a few days' time or a few years' time and wants to change it again, it's just a matter of ticking that one box. If I now show you this, it's now disabled again. So opt-out disabled means you are allowed to contact that customer. If there is a tick in that box, the opt-out is enabled, which means you cannot contact that customer. If I just go into, so at the moment we've got the opt-out is disabled. So if I wanted to take an extract of customers from my system, so let's just find our new inquiries for today. And so it's Colin Cotton is the one we're looking for, but if I just export these out and we'll just change the file Oops, let me just shrink that a touch, just so we can get it on one screen. Just move that down a bit. Okay, so if I just remove Captain Tom and Admiral Vernon and delete them. Right, so here I'll just expand the cells just so we can make it bigger. So there's our customer Colin Cotton with the address. As I go up the far right hand side, we've got things like there's our legitimate interest opt-out. So the opt-out is disabled, so you're allowed to contact that customer. And then there's all of our consent topics based around the Land Rover data protection statement that I went through. So once the customer's in the system, obviously at any point, then we can go and update that record. So if I go up to here and start to type in Colin Cotton, so I can go back into the record at any point, click onto the pencil to go into the customer profile, click onto either of the GDPR setups, but if the customer now said I want to opt out of marketing, tick the box, click save, and it's added now version 4. So everything I'm doing is date and time stamped, and also saved the user as well. So we know who has actually opted the customer in or out by ticking these boxes. Obviously, if I need to change the preferences of the brand, then I can go in and do that as well. Oh, save the page. Then I can just go into here and say the customer now would like to opt out of post and phone as well. So very simple to change and update the record. You can see here I've got date and timestamp in my consent topics as well. But legitimate interest was the focus of the video. Thanks very much.